6. My fault, at least.
All right, here we are. We're live, Bob.
That's great. I'm live also. So, Trevor, why don't you start us off here?
Yes. So welcome to our caption contest judging. I will share the image in question. There was a little bit of discussion about. Bob said you had to do some research for this one.
I did. I had no.
So yeah, the most obvious parts are it's that kind of trope of two men dressed as a horse, one in the front, one in the butt.
That I understood.
Talking about, it's a bit of a Trojan horse thing, but then talking to two guys. The guys are talking, two little guys.
The guys are definitely talking. A lot of people had. I mean, a number of the entries had the guy and the people in the costume talking.
Right, and the little guys were talking to the big guys. And there was a lot of people went back and forth on whether they were Trojan, Roman,
or Greeks.
Or Greeks, exactly. And unclear.
What are they dressed like? Do we know historically? Somehow I feel they're dressed. More important historically than what they dress like is what are they dressed like in terms of the cartoon reference. If there are Greeks in cartoons in this image, I think they're dressed like Greeks.
I think they're.
Because we never see the Trojans.
Right, but I think the idea is that these soldiers, the small soldiers, want to get into the fortress. And, they're the same soldiers who were trying to get in through the use of the Trojan horse.
Right.
And this
So they're Greeks.
Yes. And this is their first attempt to get in, and it's not very successful. And they're saying something.
That is the most, that's the one that really only makes sense.
Yeah, and that is, according to Joe Dator is the artist here, according to his original caption, that is inferred there, Lawrence.
Well, we eliminated a lot of captions that way. I thought it was a great. I thought it was a great image, and although I looked at them really quickly, I think there were some that were okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
It was not easy, but I managed to pick 10 that I thought were good and 6 that I thought were really good.
Yeah. Well,
But now we can argue.
Yeah. Now I'll bring it up as we normally do. Everyone sends 10 anonymously, so Bob can't influence anybody.
I'm not trying
to. Lawrence can't strong arm anybody. And I compiled them here. And generally, we all have our 10. We'll go through the ones that were duplicates first, and then we can fight for some as usual. This time, only 4 were made it across both.
All right. One thing I realized that is on the video, when the video is, you can't see any of these. I mean, they're too small.
I will make.
But I don't know that matters in that. I don't know that there's that many people watching, but it's better if it's bigger.
So the number 1, I hope history remembers this differently.
I think that's pretty good.
I think it's good. I think it's funny. I think it's clever.
That was one of my top 10.
You'll be Plan B.
I also like that one.
That's also.
I think maybe I had that. I know I had it early on. Mm-hmm. You made a huge ass of yourselves. At this point, I'm so tired of wordplay stuff.
Yeah, that one is not one of my favorites.
That has become so common.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll knock it out because I think it does instill some.
Okay.
Well, that does explain the giant horse.
But then
I don't get that one.
It doesn't make sense because then he's not a Greek. I mean, it's sort of funny, and it'd be funny. It'd be funny if this wasn't even there.
Well, I think the joke
outside somebody's house.
Yeah, this was one of mine. The way I read it was that explains why they're giants. Oh, like they're giants. There is no such thing as a giant horse, but there are giants.
I see.
That's
No, that
that,
doesn't make any sense.
that's how
I mean, this is just when we look at that picture and we know the little soldiers are Greeks, we know that this is some part of. I mean, that's the only backstory that makes sense.
Why are we assuming that? I know I'm going back on it, but why are we assuming they're Greeks? Because they're outside, like the Greeks turned up on the beach at Troy.
Okay. That's a problem, I guess, in that you would figure they wouldn't want to be exposed. They're Greeks because that's how the Greeks. How worked up I'm getting. They're Greeks because that's how the Greeks are depicted in these cartoons. They're dressed like that. You never see a Trojan.
and Joe's
see a Greek. If the Greeks are in horses in this cartoon, that's how they look. That's why Joe. This is cartoon forensic. That's why Joe drew them this way. Okay, because he's just drawing past cartoons, and so.
So this is two Greeks in the costume, two Greeks talking to others. So it's 4 Greeks, no Trojans.
Yes,
they're
all trying to storm the city.
And this somehow is some misbegotten plan that of course it becomes a capturing contest where he's mashed up these two very different tropes, right? Which is,
or maybe 3 even, counting the giant people. Or I mean, I don't even know if that's a trope.
They have to be giants to make this horse this size. They can't be. Now they could have been. It would be a whole other cartoon that's quite funny if instead it's just the 2 guys in the horse,
right? Or 100,
or even 2 Greeks in the horse like this. Right, in this horse, that would be mashing up the vaudeville trope, the 2 men in the horse costume. It's a little weird. Also, I realized in that I guess they're separated here, but usually they would be together, right, to make the horse.
No,
right, but
yeah, that's how it is. He puts that on his head, and the other guy puts his
right.
Puts his
I see.
Yeah.
I see. I didn't look carefully enough to see that the other part. So he puts it and they connect, right?
Yeah, I'm going to defend this cartoon. I think it's kind of a brilliant mashup. The horse has to be giant, so there's a reference to the actual Trojan horse, and they're this is their first misbegotten attempt to storm the city, and that's the story. I think that's what's happening, and I think it's kind of brilliant. It's hard to caption, but I think it's a brilliant.
Where Joel is being bothered a bit, and I was a little bit too, is okay. They're storming they're doing this. And they're right in front of what they're supposed to siege, and so they look like. But you can't. Sometimes you can't fit everything in there, and so you need that little bit of disbelief here. Yeah, they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. If this was some actual scenario, they wouldn't be right next to the castle or whatever. They'd be further away, and they'd be like he'd be remonstrating about this failed plan, not within sight of the Trojans.
Yeah, but they're also the idea also is that they're kind of stupid. I think is part of the joke.
Yeah, they're and that's I think is what Joe did here. And that's how people responded to as well, right?
Yeah.
So look at how they're not just guys in a vaudeville costume. They're very dumb guys in a vaudeville costume. Now, when you take it further, though, if they were not dumb guys, well, what is this plan exactly? You would anyway. You can't go that far with it, I think.
Right.
But and what we don't go to Joe's original caption anyway. So let's look at the other captions that.
Yeah. So I guess we'll flip it back.
But I did. I mean, I empathize with Joel also, because when I'm just looking at these captions in this framework, I do feel a little bit like that's what happened in the New Yorker contest also. It's sort of like a yes and framework for a lot of people, right? I mean, that's the way they react to it. It's like, I'm going to make a joke that would work better if this picture was a little bit different.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I think that's how people create the captions, but we can't judge by that standard.
No.
Or we could.
I also like the drawing, and I do like the concept. It was a difficult one for those
Yeah,
watching.
no, I was quite in favor when we selected this. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be great." And it's only when we, after we decided, it was like, "Oh, actually, this is actually quite a tough one to do. It should be easy until you sit down to work it out, and then then it kind of evaporates."
All right, so
there were some great ones.
Yeah, we only have 3, so we gotta add 3 here from our own.
All right.
I guess I'll start this one time.
Okay.
I did like. I'm surprised you guys didn't get these 2 in, or at least this one. Excuse me, can my friends and I borrow your costume? Where it would be the little people would then get in the costume, and that explains the origin of
that
the
makes
horse.
sense. But
Although the Trojan horses wouldn't.
Yeah, historically maybe that's changed, but yes,
historically,
I don't know. Yes, you're right. It makes no sense, but you can come in, but your ass has to stay outside. I don't know where your army is hiding. Is a nice dirty one. We never really go very dirty.
Where are we looking in?
Out here, I don't want to know where your army is hiding. It's more perverse. I have a National Lampoon book on my desk right now.
Okay.
So that it would explain that one. But I did like my favorite, I guess, that was not picked was "Excuse me, can my friends and I borrow your costume?" And then there's another one. You may enter as long as there's not a company of little soldiers in your pants. For some reason, I just like the idea. A couple people tried to bring it in where a lot of little soldiers were inside of this costume instead of the wooden soldier somewhere.
Yeah, but then you're turning little soldiers into people who are from the walled city.
Yeah,
they're guarding the.
Those people are in the little.
You want to make it small again because I realize I can't see you all.
But
oops.
I mean, if the soldiers are saying you may enter, then they're from the city.
No, exactly. You are right.
So, and I think that's fine. I think that's one thing you can do when you're writing captions is change the identities if you want to, if that makes more sense to you.
Yeah, and I think that's what people. I think that's what makes the contest sort of fun, in that you're almost imagining. The entrants are almost imagining slightly different cartoons, which would be, which would be funny. I mean, I did that also just because when you do imagine it, you find the caption funny. Then when you evaluate it, you say, well, it doesn't work given that you've already said that these are Greeks outside the.
Joel, do you have any that you would you're particularly?
I did struggle. I wasn't quite as keen on the results this week. There was nothing or this month. There was very few that I didn't think anyone absolutely nailed it, if I'm honest. I thought they were quite good, but it wasn't our best week. So I kind of went left field. As you can see, I've got less. Like everyone seemed to go for 10. I managed about 8 or 9. None of which I'm particularly excited about. The one I'm not really selling it very hard. But I suppose the one I thought was most left field, or that was taking it from a different angle, was "Keep It Loose, Try Prancing," which made me laugh.
Well, that just accepts an act of some sort, right?
Exactly. It's just like everything they're.
I mean, and that's how I look at it. So for some of them, just to pick them. I mean, the best ones were this is just a kind of crazy failed attempt.
Yeah, Joel,
that's why I think something like "I hope history remembers this differently."
Yeah,
is I think very good.
Well, we'll go on here. We'll go from Joel.
Oh, wait, there's one of Joel's that I like that he didn't mention.
Frankly, we expected more of you. Is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to say, Lawrence? Yeah, that one
Yes.
also made me laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Frankly, we expected more of you.
Which goes along the same line that it's their first failed attempt.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one. It wasn't it wasn't among my top 10, but I like it.
No, I like that one as well. Bob, we'll pull it over to you. I highlighted that, so
Well, I think too many of mine, too many of mine. Well, I did pick silly ones like "Sorry, the Warnowski birthday party is block over." Please mask prior to entry. All of those. Well, and when they're good and drunk, we overrun them with vaudeville acts. This is your pay. That's your motivation. Is like an old kind of phrase that directors make.
Yeah.
As though it's an act. I guess I hope history remembers this differently is the only one I really care about. I mean, when and what other one does? And I did. I mean, there's a whole series that are from the viewpoint of the Iliad, as though it's being written and it can be rewritten. And anyway, so let me look at the other ones. I mean, ones that they just made me laugh. Is Helen isn't available at the moment, but you're welcome to leave a message. And I did like, I just conceptually, I like it. It's more tragedy than comedy.
For the vaudeville.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll highlight that one then.
Lawrence is going to save us. He's very key. He thinks there's some. Let's.
Okay, Lawrence.
I'm looking at mine. I'm surprised that I see now that I did choose. You both made a huge ass out of yourselves, which I don't like.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. I don't know why I put that in there.
I think this is the thing when we're looking at this. I think if we had more time, we'd make even worse choices.
I think that was that's the one that came in at number 10. But I did like just go knock the gate down and grab the king, because they're thinking, you're giants. We don't need you to dress up as anything. Just go in and do what we need to do. This is the last time I take the low bid. I liked, again, it's the same joke that this is their failed attempt. Now skip the next one. Shipping a wooden horse, not good. I hope history remembers this differently. I do like You'll Be Plan B. I have damn budget cuts. Again, that's like the low bid joke. Sorry, something's coming up here. Oh, there we go. I don't like the odds. Again, referring to the fact that they're probably not going to succeed. All right, this is stupid, but it did make me laugh. Troy isn't going to fall for a pair of big boobs. It's just, pointing out how stupid the Giants are.
But it turns out shipping a wooden horse is a logistical nightmare. Who is he talking to about what? I mean, if there were other people to mention this, that this is the reason. It's the reason they did it. But but he's saying it to them.
It doesn't work.
I'm going to quickly interject here because I've been putting some of the captions on the drawing, and the drawing really is so good and so funny. That the mediocre captions actually they look good on the cartoon.
Hold on, I've got one more.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The last one is my favorite.
Oh,
okay.
So Odysseus's plan is better.
Yeah, and Odysseus, it's kind of a tough word, or not name to use in a caption. It doesn't trip off the tongue, but I really liked it because I thought it was one of the better jokes about how we have the idea of storming the city with a huge horse, but Odysseus, who has the idea for using a wooden Trojan horse, is his idea is much better than this one of using the two giants. So I really did like that one, but I can understand why it might not get selected because it's just hard to say Odysseus's.
Odysseus, yeah, it might be.
But it was Odysseus's plan. I mean,
well,
he was
that's also a problem with it. I didn't remember that.
Yeah, I didn't remember that. So just as it is.
But but it definitely should be in there.
So I just wanted to show you here, though, how the cartoon is so strong, the drawing, that a lot of the captions do work well, even without, even if this one, wasn't.
Selected. Yeah, you're right.
So I think, this looks good. This looks like a cartoon. Excuse me, can my friends and I borrow your costume?
Yeah.
Frankly, we expected more of you.
Well, that's not bad when you see it.
No, when you see it, for some reason, this cartoon works much better.
Although.
And if I could, we're going out of order here, but Joe had something interesting to say with his caption. I'll give you Joe's caption here right now. His caption was, "If you guys don't work out, we'll try putting the whole army in there." But then Joe writes, "It's nothing clever. It's just a verbal button on the visual gag to emphasize the absurdity, as is my preference." So Joe wasn't really after the zinger of a caption. It was more of an absurdity of the image and a caption to go along with it. So I think that is why they work better when we were doing this.
Well, this is where the caption contest differs from a regular cartoon. In a regular cartoon, you're so delighted by the image, right, that you can just put a button on it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With a caption contest, it's a contest. So there are many captions vying for it.
Yeah.
And the idea of just sort of finishing off the image, as a cartoonist often does here.
Visually, this one's working well, I think. Or this one seems to work.
I hope history remembers this differently.
Yeah, I think that's very elegant. And I do think the Odysseus plan is a very good cartoon. But here, as we've talked about, a word can ruin it.
Yeah.
And when you're starting off with Odysseus.
Yeah. No, that's it. If you trip over the first word, you're in trouble.
Over it, and I wish Odysseus had a different name.
But I like history remembers this differently. I like You'll Be Plan B.
Yeah.
I like the low bid.
That's good.
This one actually works well too. Not to keep.
Oh, it really does. Yeah.
It works well on print. It works well too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
Well, I feel like we're pretty much in agreement that I hope history remembers this.
Yeah. I think that's very elegant.
So I think we'll mark that off, and then we'll just go back and see if we have final set.
Maybe we should pick. Do we have enough, or maybe we should pick?
Yeah,
one.
that's what I'll get back. That's what I'll get back to.
I'm going to put in a pitch for just go knock the gate down and grab the king, partly because it comes from a different angle. And I think you can't have too many captions that are going after the same joke. If we're picking 6.
We do have 6.
We do. Okay.
Well, we have. Well, yeah. I think we have. Let's share here. Let's take out Joe's original. Yes, this one. We have 6. Then, excuse me, can my friends and I borrow your costume? Doesn't make it.
Also, I
don't think
we don't like the.
I don't like
the giant horse though.
I don't think giant horse is good.
No, that doesn't, because it assumes. I mean, if we wanted to pick something, Joel, what you had one wacky one. What was it?
We did. Frankly, we
Keep
expected
It Loose, Try Prancing was the one that's sort of my outsider hope.
Excuse me, can my friends and I borrow your costume? I mean, I know it doesn't. It's not a wooden horse, but it did look good on the image, and I did find it funny.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's better than the one we just knocked out.
I quite like. I didn't like. This is the last time I take the low bid. That feels very flat to me. I prefer the Odysseus one if I had a choice. Don't know if anyone else would. Is
Well,
anyone else wedded to the low bid one?
I guess I like both of them. Say the same story that it's a much shittier alternative to what another idea was. This one was they were cheap, and in the other one there was a better plan by Odysseus.
well, I mean, I like Odysseus' plan better. Will
It's more historical, or not historical.
make us seem smarter, unless they see this video and they realize only Lawrence knew it.
And then is the S is the possessive S? Should there be a possessive S after?
I go with the possessive S, but yeah, I'm going to make it very clear in the commentary that I was the only smart one.
Oh, I did read it. Well, just much like the Iliad, it takes us a long time to reach a conclusion.
You know what? I like these, and I really like this is the last time I take the low bid because it does allude to the fact that it doesn't cost much to just get one of those horse costumes. It would cost a lot more to construct a giant wooden horse. So
yeah.
I don't know. I like that.
I'm on the fence with both.
Are you really so sure about that?
Low. The price of wood.
Did that out with two giants?
There was no price of wood these days. Ones.
You have no idea the tailoring that goes into something like that.
That's true. That's true.
Also,
Look, I'm not going to argue against Odysseus. I liked Odysseus. I just understand the problem that's starting with.
Yeah, I like them both. The Odysseus is a mouthful.
There's no problem if it doesn't, as long as it's just one of the finalists that doesn't win. I don't think.
Well, so you want to replace? This is the last time I take the low bid with Odysseus.
No.
No. Yeah, I think I like.
Because you said
Odysseus. I like what we've got.
Because you said Odysseus.
I like what we've got too.
Every time you say Odysseus, it goes down.
Can I just
Joel?
Just for a point of in the UK, those horses are either called pantomime horses or panto horses. It's like, and it seems like you're all struggling to find the name for what you call a pantomime horse. Like you're calling it a vaudeville horse, or like it's not. You don't have a word for it. It's just odd.
No,
it's just a pantomime horse.
The movie Top Secret, Val Kilmer wears one. That's where I would say the horse from Top Secret, where the guys wear. I have no.
It's part of the culture. We have them every year during Panto season.
Panto season? You're joking now.
Sounds like something Marcel Marceau is involved in.
I think this is good. Let's go with it.
Well, actually, that's what the captionless sequence cartoons used to be called.
All right. Shall we see what history is?
Yeah.
Well, here, let's look at. History is by Edo Steinberg.
All right.
Oh, I've seen his name before.
EDO.
Yeah.
I'll have to have him correct that or confirm Edo or Edo. I hope history remembers this differently. And let's look at the voting. Let me share that and get rid of the.
Yeah, let's see.
I think I'm very intrigued by this. I think it's been a tough competition.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of the emails.
That's interesting.
Whoa, the number one voted won. I hope history remembers this differently. Let me share.
Oh, there you go.
Our entrants are getting smarter.
Go either way.
No, I'm sort of proud of our entrance. This is not an easy.
The number one.
Yeah.
The number one is I hope history remembers this differently.
Yeah. Great cartoon, but not easy to caption.
Right.
No, but it does look great. It does look great in when the caption's on there.
See, now let's rehearse what you'll tell Homer.
Frankly, we expected more of you. The guy on the right is a real horse's ass. We don't want to have the names here. So.
Now, you could have just knocked, I think, was a winner in, or maybe not. I still remember it from a New Yorker caption contest. Maybe I sort of feel like that is a caption from. It would be. It'd almost work if it wasn't a pantomime horse.
Yeah.
But it would be the Trojans coming out.
To get your act together, no more half-assed invasions is a nice groaning pun. That rates. Yeah, so that's it. Let's
All right, that's it. That's great.
let me share the final one here again,
And
because it does.
Trevor,
Good.
when do you need the commentary?
I will. If I can get it by Friday, so we can have
Sure.
a holiday weekend. If not,
No, that's easy.
if we can, then I'll. Yeah, if we get it by Friday, let me just share Ito's final here. And it is this. If this caption was on our website in cartoon, it'd be great.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a good one.
So thank you very much. By the time you guys see this, the cartoon caption fans, you'll see a Jason Adam Katzenstein up next week, and hope everyone has a happy 4th of July weekend.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Did you stop?